Hello, Music Multiverse listeners, and welcome to Panelists' favorite show tonight, Five Firsts from our panelists. That's right, we asked them, what was your first band or artist obsession? What is your first club show? What was your first stadium concert? What was the first album, CD, cassette, or God forbid, 8-track you purchased? And finally, which song did you either A, do karaoke to, or B, the first song you might have learned on that instrument that you decided you were going to play? So there are the five firsts. We want you to get to know and trust the panelists. Okay, maybe not Alex, but we find out the first ever. If this isn't your first time visiting the channel and you haven't subscribed, it's time. Please think about clicking, right?
What the fuck wrong with?
Yeah. I'll be the first to say thank you. We are here to audio ascertain you. And if this is your first time on the channel, please don't leave. I swear it gets better from here. We treat every show like it's our first. We don't dial it in. There's no repeats. Not yet, anyway. We'd love to get syndication. Can you get syndication on YouTube? I don't know, maybe. Let's first meet our panelists. The only place that matters is first in line at Mighty Taco. Alex Kaluzny. He's not the first Jeff, but he's definitely the only Jeff Young.
That would be me.
Yes. He's the first person on the panel to see dead people by the hundreds of times and live to tell about it. The Grateful Dude. She's the first to admit it. Damn, Deb Armitage Hicks Maloney. It's also her birthday, so we can all admit that.
Oh!
Yeah. And
thank you.
She's single. She's fun and ready to consider marrying you if your last name is MIT, IT, or any hyphenated double last name, so we can change her name to Damn It. And the first lady of Beyond Your Radio could not join us tonight.
Oh.
She's on pickup duty, and she was. I'm going to say the same things because I think I was there for all your first.
I'm using
Yeah,
what
probably.
just used to describe Deb as her Golden Bachelor audition tape.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Thanks, Alex. Yeah, thanks. You made me feel good. All right. I'm a Golden Bachelor.
Well, I mean, until we find, we still got to find Damn It. I mean, that's just too good.
You're 29 today, right?
At least.
At least 62.
6 and 2.
Wait, does that mean I get to dial my age back?
don't.
Well, you do act like you're 9.
Well, 29's under me, so.
That's true.
Okay.
So
I think
for watching.
Yeah, thanks for watching. Goodbye. All right, let the first begin. Let's start with the first band or artist obsession that you had. And we'll start with the birthday girl first.
Oh, I'm first today. Okay.
Yes.
My first artist who was in a band, I became obsessed with, and I was probably 5 or 6, and it was Davy Jones of the Monkees.
Davy Jones. Well, wait a minute. Wait, what was he in a locker or something?
What?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I thought there was some Disney thing. Davy Jones's locker. I don't
know. No. Davy Jones. It was going to be David Cassidy, but that was like 3 years later. I started young. I loved Davy, and he was a little guy. You know, he was cute. He was funky. Wore big flowers on his shirt. He was awesome.
Oh, okay. See, I went into another place at the Davy.
First band ever created for TV.
Very good trivia. Thanks, John.
There you go.
Love
All
it.
right. Mr. Dude, the grateful one.
Yeah, I actually have 2 firsts.
Oh, okay.
Make up for Sue.
Yeah, exactly. I started at a very young age probably maybe 7 or 8, listening to the Beatles. I really got into them. But as my name refers to, the Grateful Dead have always been.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But, I know every Beatles song there is. I know them all. So I know all the Dead songs.
Yeah.
So maybe
Well,
I'm
that's
a Beatle and Dead.
sing "It's Your Birthday." Come on, do it.
Yeah.
You know every song.
You say it's your birthday.
Da, 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 da.
Apparently, it's my birthday too. So, okay.
There you go.
There's that song about you, Jeff. Isn't it? Hey, dude.
Hey, dude.
Hey,
Yeah.
dude.
Hey, dude. Very good.
Alex.
So I think I grew up a little bit differently than everybody on this panel.
I'm still thinking you haven't grown up, but okay.
Yeah.
I'm hoping you don't, because that means I'm near death.
We can only hope that I get one step closer myself. So first, it's hard to say obsession, because I can name different bands and try to maybe pinpoint where I was obsessed with them for little bits and spurts. But so
Just
it's hard
pick
to
one
kind
of your personalities and go with that.
hard to say what's really carried over. So I'm trying to think to my youth. And I mean, obviously, I've always leaned on saying that one Foo Fighters album kind of started the whole trickle down for me, but that's like cheating for me to mention that one. I would say there's probably a period in high school when I was getting deeper into music that the Trues were in that conversation for me. When I started realizing more Canadian bands, but I think I could even go deeper back than that when it came to some of those bands and say that probably it was my dad and Matthew Good.
Okay.
I don't think I ever, outside of the same 4 songs that would play every time we would get in the car and the CD would start from track 1 through, that I could say like, okay, I always heard the same 4 songs, always liked them, that it kind of had me wanting more and to hear something different. And that's one band that I think as I've gotten older, I've started to lyrically understand more, where as a kid you didn't. Because I look at the energy of the music that got me into it when I was younger. Now I get older and I'm like, what the hell was I singing at 9?
Yeah, really.
At
People-
9, you're okay. I think my
People were
daughter
probably
at,
ready to put me on antidepressants like then. So it just so now,
kid.
right. So now that I'm like looking back on what he would write about and stuff too, I'm like, I should not have been in 5th grade singing "The Future is X-rated," even though I would have been correct.
Oh, I know. It's like,
And in that Catholic school, I would have been a fucking prophet.
Oh my God.
I know. It's like when Katy Perry got big and everyone who liked her was like 10 years old. Like, I kissed a girl and I liked it. Now the dads are going, stop singing that in front of me.
So I don't know. I would probably say that's the first band that I got kind of obsessed with from the standpoint of I want to figure this out and why I like it so much and really get a full picture of it. So
my daughter's got everyone beat. She was in what's before kindergarten?
Oh, pre-K?
Pre-K, yes. And
pre-kindergarten?
Yes, she was
big word.
locked in the trunk of a car was her song. Yes.
And it's she was fortune telling.
Yeah.
You would love to lock her in the
Yeah,
trunk
I
of
would
a
love
car.
to lock her in the car.
She's Mark. Most kids just get grounded.
Yeah, everybody else is like got Barney. She's got locked in the trunk of a car. Great. Mr. Young.
Mine was Van Halen.
Oh, of course.
So
And it still is.
the way it is. Yeah, I mean, it was the cassette tape that the older kids played on the school bus on the way to school. It was my red Trapper Keeper notebook. I took white and black tape and made it to scale to look like the Eddie Van Halen's guitar. And yeah, it was just it's just the way it was, man. It was just like our whole neighborhood was just Van Halen. Like, I mean, had like 5 other kids in my neighborhood that were my age, my grade. We all just liked Van Halen, and we liked other things like Ozzy and stuff like that too, but it was just Van Halen was first and just always stuck with all of us.
I've grown to like them so much more in the last 3-4 years for no apparent reason. I hear a Van Halen song, I just react to it way better than I ever did before. And it's one
They're timeless.
yeah, but I've heard them a million times, and now all of a sudden, like lately, I just love them even more for it. And I
What's funny
just
is
don't
that
know why.
like the more artists I have appreciated, like you just didn't realize what you're listening to at some point. Even stuff like I'd get in the car and my parents would want to listen to it. I'm like, oh, this is like soft listening, but I listen to it now. I'm like, yeah, I still want to listen to it, not because it just reminds me of something, just because it's actually just good.
Yeah, there you go.
I find
It is
totally
strange.
overrated.
Huh.
Yeah, he's never
You're just sour about the
never
Meatloaf
been a Van
catalog we
Halen
did the other
guy.
What I can't understand though is like when I used to hear the synth for Jump, I used to just be like, this kind of sucks. And now I hear it and I'm just like,
Cranky.
keep turning the volume knob a little bit more. And I'm just like, and I know that it's just me with two different parallel views that have just changed over time.
Yeah.
like
I think
appreciating red wine,
Alex is he's growing up.
Oh,
Right before
our
our
little boy.
ears.
I was
Yes.
gonna say he's going downhill.
Nah, I doubt it.
Dude.
I'm going down to hell. We
Yeah,
knew.
well, we got a place reserved for you on the board.
Shit, I'm gonna get down there. Table for two.
Table for two.
What you, Mark?
I was, still probably am. I think this guy's got a bad rap for, after the 80s, but my first band obsession was artist and then band. So Phil Collins and Genesis, and I went back, but Phil has always been the constant. Not only did I sing Phil Collins all the time, not only did I sing in a band Phil Collins all the time, my wife heard it in the car.
You were in a
Everybody,
Phil
all the
Collins
time.
band?
huh?
You were in a Phil Collins band?
I was in a band, and as a matter of fact, I liked the guys I hung out with, and their mother she was there the one, and she goes, "Why don't you let Mark sing? I've heard him sing." And they came and they asked me, and I said, "Well, fine, sure." So
Oh, we got to get video of
I
that.
did. There's no video.
Oh.
I
Sue was
I
there.
wish he would have shaved his head like Phil Collins.
Video wasn't invented back then.
Yeah, she played. She did backup vocals. We did "In the Air Tonight." Don Henley's "I Will Not Go Quietly." And then
Cool.
some other stuff, but the taste of the band was in complete differences in some cases. So
We find
wouldn't
out
go-
it was all Phil Collins songs with.
I won't even
twist.
go as far as to say I could sing like Tracy Chapman, but I could. So it was interesting.
Good. Cool.
So that's my that was, I mean, at that time it was like, before that I thought about like Duran Duran, Depeche Mode and all that, but Phil was the first one that, yeah, Everything Anywhere Anyhow. And I never got to see him live.
Yeah, I can't.
I did.
I could sing about as good as maybe, I don't know, Napoleon Dynamite. That's about my quality.
Only time.
Uh,
That's funny.
Deb, we'll go to you back now for first club concert.
Okay. Well, I don't know if I would consider this place a club, but it's the first time I can remember seeing a band that is now famous in a bar
Okay.
before they were famous. And it was in 1985 at Reagan's Backstreet Bar near Upstate, and it was the Goo Goo Dolls.
Okay.
And I didn't know that they were going to be the Goo Goo Dolls. Nobody knew they were going to be the Goo Goo Dolls. I don't even know if that's what they were called then. I know they were all playing
Jeff
together.
Bryden would have known.
I think they had a different name
Okay.
at this time, but it was him and Robbie, and I don't know who the other guy was. I don't know if it was the original three, but it was Johnny Resnick.
Which is still how that band is.
Yeah.
It's
Exactly.
those two and that
whoever,
other guy.
that dude. Yeah. So that was my first one.
Nice. That's a great one.
It wasn't on purpose. It was a mistake.
Till the one guy sings, then it's not so.
Yeah, that is not so good.
The dude.
The Birds.
The Birds.
Nice.
And at the Palomino when I was on my 21st birthday.
The Palomino. Now was that in the Blues Brothers movie?
Valley.
Oh, okay.
Valley. It's a Western bar, but they do a lot of rock and roll back then. They're still around today.
I thought the name sounded familiar.
I think they've been around now 80 years.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
and they still do bands and stuff like that. But that's I remember it well.
Cool.
I remember them
That's
well,
cool.
and it was a good show. Very
Yeah,
good show.
The Birds. Jesus. Yeah. Wow. Alex.
Are we counting like Town Ballroom as a club?
It is.
Yes, exactly.
'Cause
It has a bar.
where I'm
Yeah.
really disappointed is I always thought growing up when I finally turned of age that my first club show would come at the Old Trough, and I never got the opportunity, though I've only ever been to the venue once.
What?
I've never been.
And ironically enough,
I was with you.
Well, that's the one.
Wow.
That was the only time I ever was in that venue. To this day, because that was when we did the cover band night there. So yeah, that's the only time for that. But I'd say, thinking back on my Town Ballroom shows, shit, it might have been the Trues.
We're back to them again.
It's likely.
Seriously.
That makes sense, right? The first band you really when you
yeah,
For sure.
because I know I've really only gone to see 3 bands there: them, the Arkells, and the Tea Party. So it's very likely the Trues were the first go there. I would not be surprised. That might have been it. If I think of another, I'll interject.
I've seen some really good shows at that place, man. I've seen
I will say, for a venue, that might be one of my favorite setups, because I like the layering.
Yeah.
And I like that you can hang out on a different perch, kind of establish your ground. It's crowded, but you can still get to where you need to go in there if you need to get somewhere.
Like clearly defined area.
Yes.
Clearly defined.
Bars everywhere.
I have stood in random spots in there for shows that I just didn't plan on where I was going to stand for the show, and it just made it. I don't know why. So, yeah, I think it might have been them.
Okay.
Yeah, man, I've seen a lot of good shows there, like probably Muse, Chevelle, Megadeth, Metric. They've had some really good shows.
So Jeff and I went back and forth. He called me today because he couldn't remember the club either.
We'll just skip to me because I have no idea what it is. All my first 200 concert tickets I have up in my parents' house, 800 miles away in Buffalo. I'm in Florida. If I had them with me, I could look it up and tell you which one, but I don't know. So many. Probably the first 10 concerts I went to were all in stadiums.
What's a concert ticket?
I'll be quiet.
You can Google
it. Got it on your phone.
You can look it up.
In fairness,
look it up with payphones too.
In fairness, what's missing from this whole thing is, I know we're on club shows and next is going to be stadium shows, but just for the sake of the conversation and where we were at with me on it, a lot of my concert experiences growing up were Thursday at the Square.
Right,
which
a lot of them are free.
All under stadium or club.
Shows.
And
True.
You had a park full of people and some decent acts there. So I always kind of grew up on the outdoor concert series. That was always my thing.
Yeah, I mean, to be anticlimactic, I think maybe one of my first shows, maybe my first show ever was maybe just something free that 103 The Edge used to just do for free shows. You go see School of Fish. You're mostly there because it was free, and you recognize one song they play on the radio.
So I'll tell you what, rather than just defaulting to the Trues at Town Ballroom, I'm going to adjust my criteria on this one, and I'll say I don't remember in chronological order which one it was, but I know some form of Lowest of the Low, Blue Rodeo, Kim Mitchell, and Moxie Fruvis. Somewhere one of those 4 was the first one.
Kim Mitchell, I love it.
If we're going to count one of those as, instead of being a small club, but
that's not a club.
I'm counting it as mine because I was too damn
You're
young.
counting
to
it because
be
you
in
can
one.
remember it, I guess.
Sounds like a musical.
And I was too damn young to be in one. It wasn't like it was just 15
No, that was
years
why
ago.
when we were having this conversation, we immediately said, okay, we had to be of age in the States to go. We could have gone to Canada because we could have
Right.
seen shows there, but we always kind of went to the club. The girls wanted to dance and that.
Well, they've always had all ages shows too. Like,
Well,
some
it's
of-
more fascinating for you guys because it wasn't 11 years ago.
Well, the problem is that we had a hard time coming up with it, and I believe it is this. Okay, Jeff? Are you going to put one or no?
I'm just
You're abstaining.
either School of Fish or I don't know. Like I really don't know who it is.
Okay, I believe it is the Morgan Fields with the headstones at the trail.
You might be right. I don't know.
It was 1992. And that's pretty much in the age bracket to be able to go. The 12 did not let any age go, right? Because so that would be the one. And it was funny because that show, there was when the Morgan Fields went on, that we were the only people there. And then the headstones
really
came
good.
on, and there were only other 20 people there. And it started to
Wow.
fill in a little bit more, but I remember it distinctly because the gentleman we knew from, I don't think from high school, but he was a Lockportian. He worked for Icon Productions, and he scheduled that. And at the end, he's like, "Hey, you want to go drinking with the band afterwards?" And after watching Hugh Dillon do what he does, I said, "No, I'm too scared. I don't want to go." So, big mistake. But all of us agreed that was a big mistake. We should have went.
We all have regrets.
Yes,
That's my
I would have
remark.
gone just for the observation.
Well, you just kind of think you're going to get sucked into some vortex of. I mean, it was a shock because we didn't know what to expect. We just knew the songs were, they were a heavier Metallica of Canada. We didn't know what was going to happen.
It's not Jeff
And,
Martin. He wouldn't have led you into temptation.
Oh well, that's another story for another night.
Well,
But-
let me tell you, if you had invited me, we would have gone.
We would have gone. All right.
I believe.
forgot,
I'm like,
Yeah.
we got to see this.
I forgot something. Since we're talking about outdoor shows, I would think I was 12 or 13. I went to the San Fernando Valley Fair and saw shit. It was just
Oh my-
Jeremiah was a bullfrog. And
Oh yeah. Three Dog Night. Is that Three
yep,
Dog Night?
yep,
Who is it?
yep.
Isn't it? Okay.
Yeah.
I saw Three Dog Night when I was 12 years old.
Sweet.
Okay. This was a question that came up in my mind. Well, actually, somebody else put the question in my mind. Is a stadium different than like an arena? Like the
No,
aw?
same thing.
Same.
Oh, it's the same thing.
So yeah, so
Ugh.
arena,
Okay.
stadium,
Ooh.
could
Okay.
be a racetrack. That's a stadium.
Okay.
Horse
Okay.
track doesn't matter.
Okay. Well, then I answered this wrong, but I'm going to give you both. So
Okay.
my first arena concert was Billy Joel,
Nice.
but it was at the convention center in Niagara Falls,
Oh, okay.
probably 77, 78. But my first stadium, a real stadium, if we're using that
Mhm.
word,
Yep.
in its true form, was not until 2017. And I saw
Wow.
U2.
Oh,
I don't like I didn't, yeah, that was such a good concert. And
Yeah.
Beck opened
Yeah.
for them, and it was really good. So those, I gave both of those as a
Okay.
thumbs up.
Got it. Dude.
It's pretty easy. February of 71.
Remember some month.
It was opened up. Shit, I can't remember his name. I hate when I do it. It was Grateful Dead. Jefferson Airplane.
Okay.
And the Grateful Dead, and damn it, I cannot remember his name. It'll come to me, and I'll probably have to interject it. But there was one more.
Okay.
I was waiting for
Yeah.
Buddy.
Where was this at?
Huh?
Where?
Oh, San Jose Stadium.
Nice.
Oh, okay.
Never been.
71 San Jose Stadium. So who played there? I mean, what was the sport? Is it the
It was just a concert.
No, I'm talking about the stadium. Was it football, basketball, or baseball?
Oh, it's not. Yeah. Oh, it's a football stadium.
Oh, it's a
That's
football
the
stadium.
stadium. So half the time you're down, then you go up in the Chief. It was about 3/4 of the way full. They probably got about 60,000 people there or so, and the stadium holds 85,000.
Right. So you moved your way
Huge
down.
stadium. Huge stadium.
Yeah.
Huh.
Alex.
Well, if we're going by the definition of arena, allegedly I
stadium,
was
yes.
at Iron Maiden when I was less than 3 years old,
Wow.
or around 3. I don't
Oh,
know
you're-
if that's true or family folklore or whatever, but allegedly I was on my dad's shoulders at an Iron Maiden show, and everyone around us was like, "Holy shit, little dude!" Like, I don't know when they all turned into surfers when this story was told, but they were,
All
even
right,
though it was Buffalo.
that's great.
Where at? Do you know?
That's cool.
It would have been the odd.
Was the odd? Okay.
Okay.
Jeff, were you at that show?
Yes. I went. The first time I don't know. It might have been before I went. I didn't see them until Somewhere in Time album. So
Like, it would have been like a 95, 96 ish time when that. But if I'm going by what I can actually remember, I think it was my sophomore year of college.
probably was the odd.
When I was moving out of my dorm, and my cousin was on tour with Chevelle, and he texts us, me and my dad, 2 days before I'm about to move out, and goes, "Can you guys make it to Columbus?" And I'm like, "What?" And he's like, "Yeah, come to Rock on the Range." I'm like, "Dad, if it's cool with you, I guess." And we ended up spending the day at the soccer facility down there and getting a stand stage side, which I'll never in a million years forget that view.
Yeah.
Of looking out at a soccer pitch of just full of people, and I'm like, thank God I ain't standing in that.
So
I'm much more comfortable up here, and just getting to meet the bands backstage and see all their equipment, little like pit stalls, I guess, so to speak, back there, and
Cool.
where I learned the band members of Chevelle, 1/3 is a dick, and why I don't listen to them to this day. And
their last album was magnificently good.
Yeah, I won't listen to them. I can't support them.
You were talking about Iron Maiden 2 days before Halloween. My brother calls me and he says, he goes, "Didn't he had previously got me this book from Derek Riggs, the artist that did all the Iron Maiden albums, and did other bands too. Had this thick, like 60-page book, had all his art in it. He wrote all about it. It was signed. It was like one of like not too many that came out like years and years ago, and it got destroyed in my water event. That I had water everywhere.
I remember when this
so
happened.
He calls me. He's like, "Hey, Derek Riggs is at a bar in Raleigh, and he's with this Iron Maiden like cover band." And he goes, and he's got another one of these books. You want me to get it for your birthday? I'm like, sure.
Wow.
Got it again. Yeah.
That's fun.
But I think that concert was Rev Theory, Fuel, Theory of a Dead Man, Chevelle, Slayer,
Wow.
Avenged Sevenfold. And I'll never forget, I left the main stage for one band.
Ozfest?
No, this was Rock on the Range.
Rock on the Range, yeah.
But I remember I left Pop Evil at the main stage, which, come looking back on it, I go, okay, that's a band I would have liked to have seen. But who I left them for, I'll never regret it. My cousin goes, "You got to go check this band out on the side stage. I don't care. Leave whoever's over here. Go watch them." I ended up catching 2 bands over there, and I don't regret it to this day. The Pretty Reckless and Nothing More.
Oh yeah, well,
and Nothing More might be one of the best metal bands out right now in our time that I absolutely love.
I haven't listened to that album yet.
Their vocals
last year
are
when they came.
different. They are as solid as it gets for a live act too. Like,
yeah. So my first stadium was same as you, Deb. Niagara Falls Convention Center.
Really?
1986. I watched Bachman Turner Overdrive open for Van Halen with Sammy Hagar.
I can't believe that was a concert venue. Now I just look at it as a cassette casino.
Well, before it was just for events, and I think the stands were all just like the ones that fold up. They were like giant, like the metal stands.
Yeah, you used to
They
have
put
Giant
They
version of
were.
those
seating,
gym
right?
class ones.
They were, because NU played
right.
their basketball team played
That's
there.
right.
So it was just bleachers. That's what it was. That's the
Huh.
main use of that part of the convention center.
But yeah, I mean, and funny, it's like my first two shows at Niagara Falls Convention Center was Van Halen, then it was Iron Maiden. Then I started going to the Odd when bands were going to the Odd. Like
Yeah. Oh, Scorpion.
Scorpions with Great White.
Oh,
Great White, we just talked about. They're having a concert in Alex's basement.
Marky.
Seriously.
so for me, it was the end of the Innocents. It was Don Henley. It was at the Odd, and Susanna Hoff opened from the Bangles. And
Oh my gosh.
our seats were relatively straight on. The only unfortunate part was we were at just above the glass, which had been removed, but it's the farthest point you can be from the stage technically. So I don't know if you know this, but Susanna Hoff, I think she's 4'1". So she looked like a speck. So she was very small. But, it was fun to be at something like that. I mean, obviously it's 1989, I think maybe. And that album
Really?
was like ridiculously, double, triple, quadruple platinum or whatever at one point.
How fun.
So I saw one part of the Eagles on that show.
There you go. I
Deb.
saw the Eagles. I saw the Eagles at the convention center.
Oh wow.
I saw Chicago.
You probably saw him a hell of a lot less than what most people had to pay to see him.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. I think my mom bought me the ticket, so I don't even know. Cost me nothing.
Great. So now it's up to the first CD, cassette, album, or holy crap, if it's 8-track.
Well, mine was an album.
Okay.
And it's interesting because when I went back and redid the stadium arena thing, realizing that I could use arena, it makes sense. My first album that I bought was Billy Joel's Stranger. I think that's from 1977. So that was my first. My first 8-track was Aerosmith.
Poison the Attic?
I don't even remember which album it was, but
Ah.
it had Train Kept a Rolling on it, whatever. And I just remember in the middle of that song, it went, how like, well, that's the song I like. What are you doing?
And you got out the pencil and tried to.
Yeah.
The first Aerosmith I ever bought was a cassette tape, and it was, I presume, their first best of album.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know what this was. I just can remember
I think I
getting
did Permanent
frustrated with it.
Vacation was the first of theirs I bought.
They're great live
Okay.
too.
Yeah.
I saw them at the Odd.
Grateful Dude, your first album, I'm assuming.
Well, I'm gonna give you both.
Okay.
My first album, I first 8-track I bought. I had probably about 68 tracks before I destroyed them all because they were completely outnumbered. But I had quite a few 8-tracks.
60, that's a lot.
But the first,
you don't stack well.
I know. I was going to say they take up a lot of room.
I still
I
to
do.
this day
Yeah,
don't
take a
know what an
take a
8-track
box.
looks like. I don't know what a player looks like.
Listen, there was
I don't
only
know
30 bands
any of it.
worldwide anyway back then.
Yes.
That's true. There was.
And ABBA was one of them.
Yeah.
No,
Oh.
no, it
What
was
was he-
the Beatles.
Okay.
Beatles. Please, please me.
Okay. Oh, so it was actually the
Okay.
first album then.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
And
Yeah.
in that did any of you had 60 of these, all right? They were fragile. Did any of them break?
They weren't as fragile as you think they were. I promise you. I used to drop them and throw them around and stuff like that.
Did you
all the time?
This is in the car, right? You put them in the car?
Well, I had one in my house, plugged right in there. Like the cassette players that you
No,
have
I
now.
know they had them in stereos, but in the car, I would have thought that the car ones were the more dangerous because they were,
No. Well, most of mine were a house.
Okay.
Because I I didn't drive when I was 12 years old.
Right.
Or
Not yet,
even
anyway.
before.
I
13.
bet you did. I
Yeah,
bet
back in
you
that time,
did.
13. He was, yeah. He'd
Only
get on his
track.
big wheel.
Only a tractor back then.
No, he just had a
Uh,
pack of Marlboros back then.
Yeah, it rolled up in my sleeve.
It's right.
Okay, and then I played the
Album?
drums. I played the drums till I was about 19. And the first song I learned to play was a band that I played with at the time, and was Wipeout.
Nice.
All right.
Okay.
Alex.
So are we covering those two questions in one?
No.
Or
Yeah.
okay.
It's an either
is it-
or.
It's either or. But I had to throw in my 8-track
For-
because I just think it's great.
Well, I'm not gonna have an 8-track. I
You don't even know what it
one
looks
was.
like.
Yeah, I think I
probably
go
could've
back as
showed
far
you
as a
what one-
cassette.
Well, listen, if you promise to watch
I
the
have
show-
Google. I have Google Images, and I still have not looked this up yet.
Listen, if you promise to watch the show, because you never watch any of these shows, because I can tell.
Yeah.
Well, I'm on them usually.
Yeah, well, hey, they're entertaining the second time around. You pick up stuff that you didn't hear before. Well, maybe you won't, but the 8-track, I'll leave a picture.
Well, I'm gonna send him one for Christmas.
Yes, send them.
They're
I
in
think that's
Jeff,
great.
for this device that I can't even use.
Yeah, you can't.
Oh,
yeah,
you can buy 8 tracks today that work.
Yeah,
They're
probably.
coming back like vinyl, baby. Let's go.
I don't think I have mine. I think I got rid of mine. I don't.
My
think-
first image that came up is of some 8-tracks to show you. It includes Foghat,
Uh-huh.
Neil Diamond, Boz Scaggs. I just thought of Boz Scaggs the other day.
Jesus Christ.
Charlie Daniels.
Jim Croce,
Oh,
Cat
Jim Croce.
Stevens.
Yeah. Kiss.
I don't.
What about Kiss?
I don't know. It
It's
looks
not
like
on
whatever,
this-
You got
yeah,
that fuzz
whatever
thing
you're
on your
holding up,
background.
it's censored. You got to close that out from your browser history.
Go ahead, Alex.
First thing I purchased. I had
Yeah,
a lot
with
of
money.
purchased for me.
I thought that was the
Some-
question. First time we purchased.
Yes, that's it.
Yeah.
First,
I'm
did
try-
it purchase?
I'm
Yeah.
trying to think of the
First
first one
one
that
you
like,
purchased.
I bought.
What did you buy?
You're supposed to come prepared.
Yeah, it wasn't as fun
Time
that
for
way.
you to think.
Yeah,
We got
well,
things
at least
to
I'm
do.
at
It's my
least I'm
birthday.
at least
But you're
I'm thinking.
making
That's
my
rare.
editing process suck.
Hmm.
Well, no, but it's organic, it's authentic, and
No, I
It's
cut it
Deb's
because
birthday,
people
I don't
won't
know.
watch for 3 hours and 13 minutes.
Yeah, just give an answer.
You know what else is organic? A car crash. Okay, Brett.
Oh,
You're gonna have to cut that
Poor
part. out.
Alex.
I think it might have been a Good Charlotte album, The Young
Oh.
and Restless. I think it
Okay.
might have been that with some spare money I had from a holiday or something like that. It was
I
either
love it.
that or it was Ludacris's Red Light District.
I thought
Yeah,
Charlotte's Web.
Ludicrous.
It would either been that or it would have been Good Charlotte's Young and Restless. I don't
I
remember
think
which
it's
one would have
Charlotte
came
record.
first.
Okay. That's good. I like knowing those things, you know? We got to
Mr.
the
Young.
point.
First I ever bought was a cassette, Blizzard of Oz, Ozzy Osbourne.
Yeah, I love
Probably
it.
at Cabbages, the Lockport Mall.
Cabbages at the Lockport Mall. Oh my God.
The only
Yeah.
thing I remember about that mall was Gino's Pizza and the Chili's that used to be in the front of it.
I forgot there was a Chili's there.
There was a comedy club in there.
Yeah.
Do you remember that? That was up near the front door, I think.
Was
There was
there
a
a-
comedy.
Was there a Don Pablo's in there at one point?
No, really?
There was an arcade, a movie theater. There was.
I
a
remember
gift
the
shop.
arcade and the movie.
There was a
theater.
like a CVS or one of those types of deals. Montgomery Ward, A&E.
Oh yeah. Walden Books. There was a
Walden wasn't
Walden
there too?
Book
Oh my
Walden
goodness.
Books, yep.
Hallmark store.
The
There's
Lockport
a
Mall.
Hallmark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember
That's
the
right.
radio
We're
the radio
reminiscing.
shack in there.
Has the show ever sounded older? I don't know.
I don't know.
I was old enough to have
Yeah,
been in the
just-
Lockport Mall.
So if you were gonna hazard a guess at what my first cassette ever
Mm.
purchased was, I don't think you could even come to terms with it. I've never
Okay.
have.
What is
Sometimes
it?
you
I
just
can't-
buy things and that was your moment, and it seemed like a good idea at the time.
Liberace.
Aretha
No,
Franklin.
it was the follow-up to a successful record.
The Village People.
This is Men at Work's Cargo.
Oh, stop
I
it.
have that.
You do
album.
not. That's awful.
Yeah. Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Jive. Overkill.
Was
It's
that
a
the used
mistake.
bit?
It's a mistake. All right. It's on
Yeah.
there. It's a mistake.
But they taught us all about Vegemite sandwiches. So
Yes,
it was
but that
very
the album
important. I never
beforehand, so,
There.
that's mine. Deb, the final question.
Okay.
It's a
well,
choice. A or
I
B.
know it's a choice. So
So-
I'm actually gonna do the very first, which was a song that I learned to play on an instrument. And
Okay.
I'll keep the karaoke one for maybe another show.
There you go.
But the song is so stupid, but I learned playing piano at 4, so chopsticks.
Ah.
You know,
Okay,
I mean, if
alright.
you want a rock and roll song, I played. It's not really rock and roll, but it fits this genre. The first real song that I learned to play that would maybe fit this a little bit would be The Sting by Scott Joplin, which, you know, is jazz and kind of, you know, we talk about some of that, but then Sticks. I
Oh,
learned to
you
play
did.
Come Sail Away when I was maybe in 10th grade. So that's what I got. Chopsticks to Come Sail Away to play a clarinet that you don't play rock and roll on. So
Yeah, I can't play clarinet. Clarinet doesn't do rock.
no,
Sure does.
Yeah. Got to give that up.
not for me.
Can't
Chicago.
play clarinet and put your arm around a girl.
That was a
I think-
flute, Mark.
think-
That was a flute. This is flute. This is a clarinet.
Yes,
think-
I know. I
Okay,
did that once
and you're in
before. and
charge
got
of the
yelled at.
show.
Yeah, well,
If I may, I think I need to
Yeah.
go because I did learn to play rock and roll on a clarinet, and you referenced the Sting. Actually, the entertainer from the movie The
more and
Sting
more every day.
is the first
Yes,
thing
you're
I
right. The
learned.
entertainer.
While I went to practice every day in George Southern School, learning my clarinet, I figured out how to play Deep Purple, Smoke in the Water, and Iron
No
Man.
way.
Ozzy.
That's a on your clarinet.
Yes.
I want a video of that.
Is anyone else just getting this drift that Jeff could be like the real life version of Jack Black in School of Rock?
Yes.
Like, does anyone else see it, or like, am I the only one who's sitting here going, "Oh my god, if he was a music teacher, there would be like a third of the class scarred for life, and the other 2/3 would come out doing like devil horns throughout the hallway all the day."
Well,
all
it's
the-
like you said, those who cannot do, teach. Those who cannot teach, teach Jim. And those who cannot teach, go on beyond your radio.
and we just lost 37 followers. Damn it. It's all right.
Yeah.
Down to 4.
We've now
Brett-
stopped chasing the followers. We're now trying to see how many we can lose. Every time
Yeah.
we gain, we get disappointed.
You know, listen, I'm starting to think that maybe that's the whole idea. Maybe I should just do music that pisses me off.
Viral reactions of all of us cringing in the album challenges.
Don't break my heart. I'm gonna break your kneecaps. You play that fucking song. You know, that's what we'll go with. But yeah, maybe this is what will Mark say today?
As far as anyone can prove, I've never done karaoke. I'm taking that to my grave.
Okay, well, Grateful
Oh.
Dude, what do you got? I mean, you said about playing drums, but the karaoke thing. Come on.
Karaoke was
Had to be Margaritaville.
probably 20. No, it was the wait.
Oh wait, okay, the wait.
The wait.
Mhm.
Yep.
Wow, that's a little long.
Yeah, it's a great, but it's a great song to sing.
Yeah.
You'll
You
have
know,
to
when
do
I-
it for us.
When I sang in a band, they turned my mic off. That's the truth.
They always
Alex.
said that. They always said I had a voice for the mute button.
Correct.
Well, considering my instrument days either consisted of the first and only song I can play to this day, which is Hot Cross Buns.
On a recorder.
Or I can play a chime with a highlighted where my note is. That's about all. So I'm about as musically deficient as can possibly be.
I'm really
But
good at cowbells.
and I will not get up and sing in front of people, so that is an absolute not either.
Wow.
Oh, you
I
gotta
would.
get 'em drunk
However-
enough.
However, no, you can't get me drunk enough.
Oh yeah, there's
That's a
No,
party
way.
game.
No, you
That's a
can't.
This
party
could
game.
happen to you if you're drunk.
I will be laying on the face first on the basement floor of Mark's house before you actually get me singing anything in front of the crowd there.
I'll wait.
What if I cry?
Yeah,
I'll
I'll
What if I
wait.
cry?
But I can still answer the question because
Okay, good.
Sure.
what I did put a lot of effort into learning the lyrics of without having to look at them as a kid were either Pinch Me or 1 Week by the Bare Naked Ladies.
Okay.
Oh,
I
1
spent
week.
so much time trying to learn those two songs.
I
'cause
know.
when I heard them on the radio, that was like instant day made.
That's
So
Christopher too. He had
$1 million.
Pinch Me Down.
We sang it at your wedding.
it wasn't even the $1 million.
Yeah.
It wasn't. It was 1
No.
week or it was Pinch Me
Yeah,
because
Pinch Me. I
as a
love
kid,
Pinch Me.
as a kid, I just wanted to do the underwear line.
Underwear.
was-
I just made you say underwear.
Yeah, like that was as a kid like the funniest fucking thing I'd heard.
Bare Naked
You
Ladies.
lived a sheltered
Cool.
life. Jeff Young.
I did my Murr.
Oh, it's right. Yeah, you said that you
Yeah, you
played.
did.
Yes, sorry.
Yours.
All right, well, I guess I'll end this here.
Yeah.
So the first song I karaoke'd, I was at a party being thrown in Rochester by a client of mine. And apparently he had done this multiple times. It was the first time I was invited. And they said
And
they
the
had
last.
they said a karaoke machine.
After they heard
And-
the singing, yeah.
And sat there at the table a long time and just everybody got up and they were doing these standard things, standard. And I was talking with the host and we so I said,
You didn't do Boy George, did
I'm
you?
gonna go do something unconventional since it's on the list of available.
Oh,
So there's these everybody's doing something else. And I noticed that every time everybody was doing karaoke, no one was paying attention except maybe their spouse or the people that were unable to move because they were old. And so I got up to the microphone, told the person, I said, and I said, just let me go. And I got up and I said, I had a job before all this.
I
And
might not now.
And then it was New Orleans is sinking. And
There
It
you
tragically hit.
go.
And my wife will attest to this, that even people that were in the front of the house playing football came around like, what the hell is going on?
Yep.
And and that same night, as the night got on, they wanted me to do one more. But my buddy that held the party, he was actually so excited by that. He got up a little bit after me and he did What a Wonderful World.
Oh,
And he did it in the voice of Louis Armstrong,
oh wow.
and it was amazing. And it's like all of a sudden, and then everybody's like, then it got crazy because everybody else tried to do crazy things and stuff. And then I did Lightning Crashes by Live.
Oh yeah.
was-
Did you
that
do
was-
that at my wedding? Which
I
one did you
did
do?
New Orleans at your wedding. I was going to
Yeah,
do,
you did.
but the night ended. The karaoke guy, I think, left. Right, he was exhausted.
No,
I
he was
still-
drunk.
Oh, okay.
I still attest the best song I will ever do. You know what? If I finally do karaoke, I know my song. It's just
Okay,
gonna be
what?
Tequila.
Oh, tequila.
Wait a minute. That's because it's too easy. Just have this conversation.
Yeah, but I'll do the full
Tequila.
Pee Wee Herman. I'll be like on top of a table dancing back and forth.
Okay. All right.
Right.
I buy that for $1. We would love to hear your firsts. Send us a comment. Give us
Or
your
seconds.
Yes. I will thank our panelists for providing a little insight into their firsts. Hopefully there's a volume 2 because there's plenty of these things we could be doing. We're on the web at beyondyourradio.com. Articles, videos, podcasts, all about albums, bands, artists, anything we can get our hands on. Go beyond your radio with us, a real music appreciation channel. See you tomorrow for Album Review Saturdays, where we might have the cure for Dr. Bionic. Until tomorrow, then, thanks for watching and happy listening.
Bye.